Dodgers coming up. The Blue Jays with a 2-0 lead. As always, Shohei Ohtani in the leadoff spot for the Dodgers. But Dave Roberts has made some changes. Will Smith, who is swinging the bat well, is up to the 2 spot. Mookie Betts drops down to 3. Freddie Freeman down to 4. Edman moves up ahead of Muncy. And Alex Call gets his first start of the World Series. More on the reasoning behind the changes for Dave Roberts as time allows. But first, a focus on Trey Yesavage.
Trey Yesavage making his second start of this World Series. He started game 1 and didn't have his great stuff. He went 4 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, and really grinded through those 4 innings. But because he only gave up 2 runs, when the time he left after 4 innings, it was a 2-2 game. And the Blue Jays came back, had that huge 9-run 6th inning. I expect him to be very good tonight. Split finger pitch, only 10 of them against the Dodgers in his first start, and I think he's going to have a good one tonight.
First road playoff start, 0 for 2. Ohtani was against Yesavage, including a strikeout in his first at bat against him back in game 1. Ohtani with 8 home runs in the postseason. Takes a splitter in there, 1-1.
Both MVPs of the previous championship series have 8 home runs in this postseason. Vladdy's got 8. Ohtani's got 8.
1-2 as he swings over a down and in slider there from Yesavage. Fastball, splitter, slider.
Yeah, he only threw 10 splits, as we talked about, and that's his best pitch for me. He's got to establish his fastball for strikes, and then the split and the slider really come into play.
A number of the Dodger hitters never even saw a single splitter because, as you say, he only threw 10 of them. So what was a negative in game 1, could it actually become a bit of a positive in game 5 because they haven't really seen the real Trey Yesavage?
Yeah, and you can see everybody's at the top rail of the dugout keeping their eye on Yesavage, see what he's featuring early in this ball game.
Fouled off. Boy, a massive cut there by Ohtani.
You know, I talked to Trey after that start against the Dodgers in game 1, and I said, what was up with your splitter? He said, it kept slipping out of my fingers. I never got a real good grip on it, never got a real good feel for it. And he gave up on it and went to the slider as a secondary pitch.
Again, the 2-2. And a tapper back to the mound. Eventually, Yesavage corrals it, and a backhand flip for out number 1.
Is he a cool customer or what? Here he is starting in his 5th postseason game after only having 3 regular season starts in the big leagues. And he knocks this ball down, but look how cool he is. Okay, I got it. Oh, no, I don't. And then he just flips it backhanded over to Vladdy to retire Ohtani. I mean, he's having the time of his life. Had him all the way.
Yeah. I guess you don't say you're built for this unless you're built for this, right? He's been confident since he showed up in the big leagues. Strike 1 to Will Smith. Again, he is swinging a hot bat. Mookie Betts not much at all in the World Series. So Dave Roberts drops Betts just down 1 spot to 3. Freddie Freeman to 4. And this one sent to left field, but it's playable. Davis Schneider is there. 2 down. The other reason Dave Roberts gave us, Freddie Freeman now down to 4. He knows John Schneider is likely to deploy Mason Fluharty for Ohtani and Freeman. Now he's got 2 righties in between them instead of 1.
Yeah, it's really interesting that Roberts made that point about a rookie left-hander. He said, but I was aware of Fluharty, and I wanted to put 2 right-handed hitters behind Ohtani. So there might be a bit of a pause before Schneider goes to Fluharty.
Mookie Betts just 3 for 19 in the World Series, all singles. Again, not his typical season, although it got better late. You can see the numbers there, not the typical numbers for Betts. Had an illness at the beginning of the year, lost a lot of weight. September was his best month, but October hasn't been very good for him.
And he's a future Hall of Famer, just having a tough postseason so far.
The 0-2. He got him. Right back to the slider. Great spot, great movement, great start for Trey Yesavage as he retires Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, and Mookie Betts in order here in the bottom of the first with all of the Yesavages here in the house. Well, we talk about the resilience of this team. Remember the loss to the Yankees in Game 2 of the Division Series. Had a big lead, lost the game. The Eugenio Suarez grand slam in Game 5 of the Championship Series. And then who will ever forget the 18-inning loss in Game 3 of the World Series. The Blue Jays, until tonight, had not even scored first in any of the 4 games here in the World Series, but they had won 2 of them. Again, they believe in themselves. They believe in each other. And we see it dozens of times every single night how close this group is.
Yeah, man, you know what? It's really in an era where chemistry is so important. You have to believe in your teammates. You have to believe that you want to make sure you don't do anything that causes your team to lose. And that has been a familiar theme. And, you know, these guys have been released. They have been traded. Miles Strauss spent last year in AAA, and they just never give up, and they never concern themselves with where they have come from. They concern themselves with where they are right now.
And where they are right now is leading Game 5 of the World Series 2-0. And an impressive bottom of the first for Trey Yesavage. He faces Freddie Freeman to open up the bottom of the second.
11 pitches, 9 strikes in the first inning. 3 up, 3 down.
That's the slider. So if you're trying to tell the difference between the slider and the slider will go more straight down, and it'll be at or around 89. The splitter usually down and away from a lefty, and it's more in the range of 85. That's the split.
Right at 85, and it's a breaking ball basically that breaks away from left-handed hitters, much like a left-hander's slider. It is a split with dramatic movement, quite different than the split that Gausman throws. But it is really a weapon.
And Dave Roberts told us he's actually thinking of Yesavage as a left-handed pitcher because of the way his pitches move, and that he's had so much more success against left-handed hitters than right-handed hitters. Fastball, and it's fouled out of play, and Freeman, maybe after seeing so many splitters and sliders, can't quite get to the heater.
Yeah, and he's got a good fastball. Yesavage's fastball will be up around 95 consistently. But for me, the really impressive thing early on is how he has been in the strike zone with all 3 of his pitches.
No, that's inside.
It is very early, but he is sharper tonight than he looked in Game 1.
No question. And he just didn't have it in Game 1, and he still battled through 4 innings, allowed just 2 runs to the Dodgers.
Let us not forget, he's 22 years old. He started the year in A-ball. He is pitching to several Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, on the biggest stage in baseball in front of a crowd of over 55,000, the vast majority of whom are rooting against him. And it doesn't seem to faze him at all. He strikes out Freeman.
And he has a great splitter early in this ball game. He got Mookie Betts on the slider to end the bottom of the first, and this is a wicked splitter. Late movement, and it just breaks down and away from Freddie Freeman. He can't make contact. There you see it from a hitter's perspective, how dramatic the movement is away from those left-handed hitters.
Now Teoscar Hernandez.
No.
He was 0 for 2 against Yesavage in Game 1. Couple of groundouts.
You know, I don't think the Dodgers really understand how good Yesavage has been because they didn't see the best version of him in Game 1. Remember, against the Dodgers in Game 2 in the Division Series, he took a no-hitter into the 6th inning. Sandy Koufax, he's done that a few times in his career, but Yesavage had 11 strikeouts in 5 1/3 against the Dodgers.
You know, with everything else he's got going, he's got more zip on his fastball tonight, too. We're seeing consistent 95 as opposed to 93s and 94s that we saw a lot of in Game 1.
Yeah, and what that does to the Dodger hitters, it makes them commit early, thinking about the fastball. And when you commit early on the fastball, you become vulnerable to the slider and the splitter.
Out in front of Hernandez, 1-2. And he got him. Back to the slider in a perfect spot. And Yesavage has struck out 3 consecutive batters.
Against the Yankees, he had 6 consecutive strikeouts, struck out the side in the 3rd and the 4th inning. And this is another good slider. I think he's gained a lot of confidence in his slider because of that start in Game 1. He didn't have a splitter, so he had to throw it a lot.
2 down, and here's Tommy Edman, the switch hitter, who again tonight, same as he did in Game 1, is going to bat from the right side against Yesavage instead of from the left side, again to try to neutralize that splitter. Something that every now and again you'll see a switch hitter do against a guy with a great splitter, maybe a great changeup, or even in days past a knuckleballer. You'd see guys do this.
Well, you saw it a lot with cutters. Jim Abbott and Mariano Rivera had switch hitters hit to the opposite side. Against Jim Abbott, Robbie Alomar used to hit left-handed, and against Mariano Rivera, a lot of guys hit left-handed because that cutter was so effective getting in on hitters.
The 1-1. Fastball fouled back, 1-2. The series will shift to Toronto for Game 6 on Friday night. The Blue Jays trying to take a 3-2 lead there. And another strikeout. Trey Yesavage strikes out the side here in the bottom of the 2nd. 6 up, 6 down, 4 Ks in the early going for Yesavage. What a great start tonight for Trey Yesavage. An outstanding first 2 innings, 4 consecutive strikeouts. That's active. The last 4 batters he has faced. And it is also a World Series record for a rookie starting pitcher.
Yeah, man, he's used his slider. He got Mookie Betts on a slider, got Freddie Freeman on a splitter, gets Teoscar on a slider, and comes back with another splitter to get Tommy Edman. Switch hitter hitting right-handed against Trey Yesavage. He's thrown 27 pitches, only 6 balls. And when you're in that zone so frequently with all 3 of your pitches, it makes the opposing hitters swing. So now his splitter and his slider are really important weapons for him because he's thrown so many strikes. The Dodger hitters have to think about swinging.
So bottom 3rd of the order coming up here, bottom 3. It'll be Max Muncy, Kike Hernandez, and Alex Call. As we welcome you back to the loudest ballpark in the major leagues, Dodger Stadium. And speaking more of the sound system than the fans. Fans are great, but the fans are just as good, if not better, at Rogers Center. It's the sound system that really gets your attention here.
You can feel it vibrate your body. It's so loud.
Yep. A strike taken by Max Muncy, who went 1 for 2 against Yesavage in Game 1.
No, that's it.
Fastball in, a ball and a strike. Yesavage's 8th major league start. 3 in the regular season, now 5 in the postseason. 1-2.
And before that first start in the postseason, and that great quote you just recited, he was built for this. That's what he said during his first media meeting, talking about postseason baseball.
A very interested observer, Max Scherzer, among those looking on from the first base dugout. Scherzer threw a side session today in anticipation of potentially a start in Game 7. He's lined up.
He is as engaged as anybody on the Blue Jays team. He's won 2 World Series, and he's done this a lot, but he's having as much fun as anybody.
Muncy, a tough customer for a guy like Yesavage. Yesavage relies on a lot of chase outside the zone. Muncy doesn't do that very often. And takes it at the knees for strike 3. And that is 5 straight strikeouts for Yesavage.
Now, we mentioned in his first postseason start, he struck out 6 Yankees in a row. And that looked like a slider right at the bottom of the zone. He catches the bottom edge of the strike zone for strike 3.
The Dodgers have their hands full early tonight with Yesavage. Another great slider, and it's 0-1 on Kike Hernandez.
Yeah, this is the best version of Trey Yesavage. This is the Yesavage we have seen multiple times since he's come to the big leagues.
No.
This is the Yesavage the Yankees saw in the division series.
He had 11 strikeouts and no hits through 5 1/3 against New York.
But the night is young. 1 out here in the 3rd. Bounces in a split. It's 2-1. He struck out Freeman. He struck out Betts. He struck out Teoscar Hernandez. Then Tommy Edman. Then Max Muncy. Fly ball to deep left. And there's no doubt about this one. Kike Hernandez puts the Dodgers on the board. His first home run this postseason.
His 16th career postseason home run. He's been a terrific postseason performer. This is his 90th career postseason game. He got that fastball up around the letters at 93, and he turned on it.
And that has brought the crowd back to life here at Dodger Stadium as the deficit is cut in half.
Yeah, this game is a long way from being over.
Here's Alex Call getting a start. Andy Pages finally moved to the bench after not hitting at all. The MO for Call is grind out at bats. See a lot of pitches, just try to get on base any way he can. Pages there alongside Teoscar. 1-2.
Another good slider. Yeah, it's really interesting. Pages had 27 home runs in the regular season, but hasn't been able to do a thing in the post.
So Dave Roberts finally making the move, trying to get a little more offense for his team, which has been very average offensively ever since they knocked out Cincinnati in the wild card series.
No.
Close, but no. They beat the Phillies. They beat the Brewers. They're 2-2 with the Blue Jays. But their success in those 3 series has been largely on the basis of pitching.
Yeah, great starting pitching and really shut down their opponents.
In the air to left center. Now going back is Varsho. Boy, that carried on him quite a bit, but he runs it down for out number 2.
Well, the last couple of nights, we've watched batting practice and watched the ball games, and the ball is really jumping. There have been 3 home runs hit in this ball game already, and that ball went a long way for basically a one-handed swing.
Big ovation for Ohtani, who tapped back to the mound in the bottom of the 1st. Ball 1.
That's one of the few times we've seen Yesavage overthrow a pitch. He really tried to muscle up on that fastball and spiked it right into the dirt.
They're chanting MVP, and they're going to be right when the voting comes out. Not where Yesavage tries to locate that splitter, likes it more down and away, but he gets a called strike out of it.
Nope.
Inside, ball 2. You saw Kevin Gausman looking on. He's lined up for Game 6 Friday night back in Toronto.
Yep, and he would love an opportunity to pitch again. Pitch Game 2 against the Dodgers. You know, Dave Roberts was asked about Shohei Ohtani first after the 18-inning game when he was on base 9 times. He said, "You ever check with him to see if he needs a day off?" He said, "I used to. Not anymore. He's a robot."
But he strikes out here. Yesavage gets him. For the second time in the series, that's the 6th strikeout already tonight for Trey Yesavage. But Kike Hernandez gets the Dodgers on the board, and at the end of 3, the Blue Jays lead 2-1.
I think the one thing about him is he's so good in the strike zone tonight that they will have to be ready to swing.
A strike to Will Smith, the catcher, who hit a fly ball to left in the first. Yesavage has retired 9 of 10, the only blemish, the home run by Kike Hernandez. Up and in with a fastball, 1-1.
Will Smith wants him to check it. He pointed to the dugout as if he thought he got hit by a pitch. He pointed quickly over to the Dodger dugout. And he jumped out of the way, but then pointed, "Hey, that hit me." But the Dodgers didn't see any definitive indication that it hit him, but he turns around and quickly points into the dugout, but they didn't see enough to challenge it.
You've got 15 seconds to make up your mind on whether you want to challenge. 1-2, and right now, Buck, the slider is as good, maybe even a better pitch so far tonight than the splitter.
You know what? I think it's a product of his first start against the Dodgers because he didn't have a good splitter, so he had to throw a lot of sliders, and now he's gained more confidence in that pitch.
He got him. Back to the slider for strikeout number 7.
Absolutely incredible what Trey Yesavage has been able to do. Coming to the big leagues. Didn't start his first professional season until April. He signed last year, drafted out of East Carolina with the first-round pick of the Blue Jays at number 20.
I think there are 19 scouting directors kind of reevaluating their decisions.
I spoke to Ross Atkins about Yesavage today, and Ross told me in August that Yesavage was going to have an impact on this big league ball club. In fact, he told me he was going to start in September. Because as they moved him up, when it got time to put him in Double-A, that's when they really started to pay attention to his outings. He just kept impressing everyone at every level.
Well, and they monitored his innings through the minors this year on a just-in-case basis. As you look at Ross Atkins here at Dodger Stadium, they didn't want to let him throw too many innings in the minors just in case he got to the majors. He strikes out Betts, number 8 on the night.
And that's another splitter and another wicked one. And I tell you what, he has got his A-game working just like his game against the Yankees.
And Kevin Gausman will look you straight in the eye and say, "I'm pretty proud of my splitter, but this kid's splitter is ridiculous."
Yeah, it's totally different. It's a much more dramatic breaking split finger pitch than Gausman's. Kevin's is truly like a split finger fastball. It almost works more like a sinking fastball than it does a breaking pitch like Yesavage's.
Again, Gausman in line to start Friday night in Game 6. And now Yesavage goes back-to-back with a fastball to jump out in front of Freeman.
And look at the body language and look at the timing and rhythm of Yesavage. He's getting the ball, towing the rubber. He's anxious to throw the next pitch.
And he overthrew it, and he hit Freeman on an 0-2 pitch. He maybe tried to throw his best one of the night, bounced it in, and hit Freeman in the leg.
He's thrown his best one all night long with normal effort. He doesn't have to reach back for anything special. And this ball bounces in the dirt and hits Freeman on the right leg. That was a slider, and you can see he's not happy about that pitch. With 2 outs, he puts a base runner on, had him in the hole.
Now Teoscar Hernandez. And a ground ball up the middle. And there's no chance to get it out anywhere. It'll be an infield hit for Hernandez.
Tell you what, the Dodgers, they can come back in a heartbeat. This is a terrific run-scoring ball club. And you give them an opportunity by hitting Freddie Freeman after you were ahead 0-2. No chance for the infielders to make a play here. Just a soft grounder up the middle.
So suddenly, first and second with 2 outs for Tommy Edman, who again will bat right-handed. He struck out in the second. And that one is blocked by Kirk, and now that's the biggest miss on a splitter that we've seen tonight.
If I were Kirk, I'd go to the mound right now. We have seen him overthrow a couple pitches in this inning, and you go to the mound, and he's going to go out there. He's at least going to go out and have a chat with him, and I love this move. He has thrown 2 pitches in this inning that he wasn't close to throwing in the entire game. Alejandro has shown great leadership from behind the plate, and this is a beautiful trip to the mound. Listen, kid, don't try to overthrow it. Your stuff is exceptional tonight. Just stay smooth with your delivery, and everything's going to be fine.
Getting really noisy here at Dodger Stadium. Yesavage struck out the first 2, but then he hit Freeman on an 0-2 pitch. Infield hit Hernandez. And now swing and a miss by Edman. It is 1-1.
It's very calming when you have an all-star catcher behind the plate come to the mound and say, listen, you got great stuff tonight. You don't have to do more than you've done.
Popped up. Kiner Falefa called off by Jimenez, and Yesavage gets out of it. 4 great innings for Trey Yesavage here in Game 5 of the World Series. They're all loving it in that Blue Jay dugout. And Trey Yesavage is certainly doing his share so far. Look at that. 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. Hasn't walked a batter. How big is that?
That's huge, and he's thrown a lot of strikes with all 3 of his pitches, and that's why he's been able to dominate this Dodger lineup to this point.
Bottom third of the order here in the 5th, beginning with Max Muncy.
No.
Muncy was called out on strikes in the 3rd. Slider got plenty of the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Boy, that's been a good pitch for him. Other than the one that he kind of overcooked to Freeman, it has been a real weapon for him.
And I will applaud Alejandro Kirk for going out and talking to him after he put a couple on. Kirk, he went out there and said, hey, man, don't try to overthrow it. You really tried to muscle up on that slider to Freddie Freeman, hit him, and then Teoscar got an infield hit, and all of a sudden the Dodgers had a little bit of a rally going.
Pulled foul, 2-2.
You know, there have been some terrific rookie performances in the World Series. One of the great Dodger pitchers, Johnny Padres, was the MVP in '55 for the Brooklyn Dodgers. How about Fernando Valenzuela in '81?
Ground ball to the right side. Yesavage has to get over, and he takes the feed from IKF for the out.
Yeah, good move right there. Vladdy went after the ball, and Yesavage broke as if he were going to get a toss from Vladdy. But Vladdy peeled out of the way, and IKF is right there behind him. Look at Yesavage break immediately. Good play. Good communication.
Yep.
They did a great job. Fernando Valenzuela in 1981 won the Cy Young and the Rookie of the Year award for the Dodgers, and then threw a complete game victory in Game 3 of the World Series.
Special year that year for him.
Yep. And Trey Yesavage is in some real special company.
Here's Kike Hernandez, who homered back in the third, the only run the Dodgers have. A guy who often in his career has done much better in October than he has done in the regular season. October Kike is a thing around these parts.
Dave Roberts talked about that too, and he was talking to us early in this World Series about Kike Hernandez. He said, I don't know what it is about him. Kike gets on me for not playing him on a regular basis in the regular season. He said, hey, I don't make out the lineup. You do. Perform better in the regular season, you play more.
Good spot there for the slider. It's 1-2. Mookie Betts looking on. He has struck out in both of his at-bats tonight. The 8 strikeouts Yesavage has have come against 7 different Dodger hitters. The only 2 he hasn't struck out, Hernandez, who's at the Kike Hernandez, who's at the plate right now, and then the on-deck hitter, Alex Call. Well, let's update that. He gets Kike for number 9.
Another wicked splitter right there. I mean, he's got everything working. I was fairly confident that if he could get that splitter into the mix tonight, he could be dominant, and he has. That is a wicked splitter right there. That one broke more down than in. And Kike Hernandez strikes out.
So 2 down, and now the number 9 hitter, Alex Call. Big at bat right here. You get him, the inning is over. You don't get him, and Ohtani comes up with a man on base. Popped up, back of the plate. Kirk coming back to the screen, but it's in the third row. Makes you long for the days when they had more foul ground around this ballpark.
Absolutely. There was always a lot more room, and you can see right in that front row. Looks like somebody might have gotten hit with that foul ball. That's Mary Hart right there, who's a constant visitor here at Dodger Stadium watching these Dodgers play.
Yep, and they are tending to whomever it is sitting beside her, but it looks like as the play resumes, seeing some smiles, and that's good news, and the seat's right behind the plate. Hopefully whoever it is okay.
Should have brought your glove.
One and 2 the count. And again, maybe trying in a 2-strike count to throw his best pitch of the night. That time the splitter, and he bounced it out in front of the plate.
Yeah, you know what? As he gets more experience, he'll understand the phrase, try easier. Because when you do that, you're nice and relaxed, and more often than not, you get good results.
Now the 2-2, and that splitter misses high. It's full. And again, with Ohtani on deck, you don't want to walk the number 9 hitter. Do you expect a fastball here, just something that he feels he can get in the zone for his call to hit his way on?
Yeah, he's got to challenge him here.
Did he go? He did. He went with the slider. He gets called. He's now struck out every single batter the Dodgers have in their lineup tonight, and a total of 10 of them through 5 outstanding innings here in Game 5. More tickets now at BlueJays.com/5050 from anywhere in Ontario or Nova Scotia.
Yeah, this World Series has captured the imagination of a lot of fans all over the world. I got a call today from Jack Morris. He called up Paul Mahler and says, you know what? We need to go to Toronto for Game 6. So they're bringing their sons to Toronto to see the World Series.
How fun is that? Bottom 6, 3-1 Blue Jays, and Trey Yesavage now facing the top of the Dodger lineup for the third time, beginning with Ohtani, who has grounded out and struck out, and did the same against Yesavage in Game 1. Yesavage deeper into the game already by an inning than he went into Game 1, and it shows you how much faith they have in him given how well he is pitching. That third time through the order is not a thing right now.
No, you just trust your eyes. What are you seeing tonight from Trey Yesavage? The Dodgers have a run on 2 hits. And the second hit was an infield ground ball off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. They've not been able to muster much against Yesavage.
Ahead of Ohtani, 1-2. Line drive to right field. Diving catch. Barger. Addison Barger lays out for out number 1.
I tell you, he is budding into a superstar. He's going to be a regular player next year. Just a matter of where you want him to play. Right field to third base. What a great play to start the inning here. I mean, this is trouble. But he got a good break on it, and he lays out and catches it before it hits the ground out there in right field. We'll put a red star on that play for sure.
You betcha. 1 big out, and here's Will Smith.
Addison's done a great job of adjusting to playing in the outfield. Remember, he was signed as a shortstop. He's played third base very well, and now he's taken his defensive skills to the outfield.
And they've moved him around really on the basis of need. What guys are hurt, what guys are hot, where do we need him? He's bounced back and forth, but doing a very nice job to both. Remember the throw he had a couple of games ago from right field. 0-2. He strikes out another. Trey Yesavage with 11 strikeouts on the night through 5 2/3.
Same number he struck out against the Yankees in that division series. He struck out 11 Yankees in 5 1/3. He's got 11 Dodgers here in 5 2/3.
And Bucky has just tied a World Series record for most strikeouts in a game by a rookie, held by Don Newcomb of the Dodgers, the Brooklyn Dodgers back in 1949.
How about that?
Pretty special.
A lot of great Dodger rookies have had an impact in the postseason. We talked about Johnny Padres and Fernando Valenzuela, and now Don Newcomb.
At the knees, 0-2 on Betts, who has already struck out twice. 86 pitches so far for Yesavage. He just shook Kirk off.
One of the rare times he's done that.
He told us before his last start he had only done it once since he had come to the big leagues. And that Kirk forced him back to the original pitch. The 1-2. Bounced in.
Good.
Dave Roberts was confident before the game that second time around his team would have more success against Trey Yesavage. Instead, it has gone distinctly in the other direction.
Well, they didn't see the best version of Trey Yesavage like they're seeing tonight. And he struggled through 4 innings the last time the Dodgers faced him.
Bouncing ball to third. Clements got it, and the Dodgers go in order. The top of the Dodger order goes in order against Trey Yesavage, who is pitching a beauty here tonight. And every now and again, when he needs help from his defense, he is getting that as well. This game is through 6, and Yesavage and the Blue Jays are up by 2. 2 runs give John Schneider a little bit more wiggle room. Maybe doesn't have to force a move, a little bit more of an ability to trust Yesavage, play this batter by batter, just see how he does.
And, you know, this is more than likely his last pitching assignment of the season. Throwing this many pitches, I wouldn't think they'd bring him back to pitch in relief. So empty the tank.
Well, crazy things happen in Game 7 sometimes, so you never know, but that's the story maybe for another day. Sir Anthony Dominguez has now been joined by Mason Fluharty. Remember, he had Freeman 0-2 in the 4th inning and then bounced a slider in and hit him after he struck Freeman out in the 2nd. He gets him. And in the process, he sets a major league record. Most strikeouts in a World Series game ever by a rookie with 12.
Unbelievable. 6 1/3. And that man right there, the great Sandy Koufax, he has to do nothing but admire this performance he has seen from this rookie. That's the splitter that the Dodgers didn't see in game 1.
And again, the quality of this Dodger lineup, as you just mentioned, 3 guys who are going to the Hall of Fame in Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. They're 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts tonight. The whole team only has 2 hits. The Kike Hernandez homer and an infield hit, that little ground ball by Teoscar Hernandez. One and 2.
Boy, he's still got good velocity. And he has been sharp from the first pitch of this ball game. Retired the side in order in the first, and he struck out Mookie Betts, and then he struck out all 3 batters in the second. He had 5 strikeouts in a row. This is trouble.
Wow.
Yeah.
An absolute swinging bunt by Teoscar, who's got 2 infield hits now in the game.
Yeah, it was just a swinging roller up the third baseline. No chance for a play at all for Ernie Clement. Another wicked split finger pitch, just tapped toward third base.
Sometimes the better the stuff, the weaker the contact, and sometimes the weaker the contact, you get hits like that instead of hitting a ground ball a little bit sharper right at somebody.
But you see, I love that. He gives up a hit and comes right back on the next pitch and throws strike 1.
Tommy Edman has struck out and popped up. Oh and 2.
Folks, I got to tell you, you're seeing something very, very special with Trey Yesavage. A 22-year-old pitching for the 8th time in the big leagues. And this is his 5th postseason start.
Yeah. Started the year in A-ball. His first pro start in April was in Jupiter, Florida. And look at him now.
As good a pitcher as he is, he might be a better person. And boy, these veterans have really admired what he's been able to do to a man.
What a situation he found himself in with the likes of Gausman and Bassett and Bieber and Scherzer. How much has he learned, Yesavage, over the last couple of months?
And how much have they learned from him?
Yep. Maybe he could teach them the splitter. That guy's got a pretty good one. He'll stay with his splitter.
But he absolutely loves to watch Trey Yesavage pitch.
2 and 2. So from 0 and 2 to a full count, over 100 pitches. He has never thrown this many pitches in a start this season. So you know he's getting near the end. Fouled off.
Hit a ground ball. Double play ball. Let him walk off the field with his team.
Couple of relievers ready down in the bullpen in Dominguez and Fluharty. Runner at first, 1 out. And again the 3-2 to Edman. Ground ball to third, to second one, to first for 2. You asked, he delivered, and he is walking off the field with his defense. Around the horn they go. An incredible outing for Trey Yesavage.
He earned that right to walk off the field, and he can celebrate a historic start in Game 5 of this World Series.